Hello everyone and welcome to this session of Automation Recipes. My name is Vinicius Maidana and today we're going to talk about the recorder. Now the recorder is one of the most important features of IBM RPA, and it is a very common feature for most automation processes that you're going to build. This is going to be a three-part series. In this first part, I'm going to try to cover as much ground as possible with the basic features of the recorder. On the second part, we'll talk about how to deal with some more specific elements like combo boxes and list boxes and that kind of stuff. And on the third session, we'll try to automate a more real-life application and go through the troubleshooting that is common in real-life automation, right? Sometimes things don't go as they should right off the bat, and we need to be creative with our solutions. So that's what we're going to see in the third session. We're going to try to automate a more stubborn application and see how we can deal with that. For this session, we'll be using a little demo application that has all sorts of different kinds of fields like input fields, buttons, combo boxes, tabs, as many different kinds of elements as possible, so we can go over how to interact with each one of these elements using the recorder. In our future session, we'll use a more practical real-world application in which you actually have to look for different ways to automate each element using the recorder. So let's go ahead and start the recorder by pressing the Start Recorder button here. And once the recorder is loaded, you can see that right at the top here, we see the recorder bar where we have all the options we need to use the recorder. So starting from the left, we have the little B icon where we can choose what type of recorder we want to use. Each type of recorder uses a different driver. We have the Windows, Terminal, and SAP drivers. Now the Windows driver is the default one. It's the one that we're always using with the recorder, so we don't really need to worry about that. What we would need to worry about though is if we were going to use the Terminal or the SAP drivers. In order to use the Terminal and SAP recorders, we would actually have to configure the connection to each of these systems. We won't go over any of these right now, as the recorder for the Terminal and the SAP are rather different from the one we use with Windows. So we'll talk about them in their own specific sessions, so we can go over them in more detail. In this session, we're focusing on the Windows recorder, which, as I mentioned before, is the default one, so we don't really need to choose it here. Right next to the B icon where we choose the kind of driver, the kind of recorder we want to use, we have the Activate Web Recorder button. Again, this is another type of recorder. This is the web recorder. We'll also talk about the web recorder in a future session. The web recorder needs to be used with Google Chrome along with a Chrome extension that enables the IBM RPA recorder to capture the actions we perform on the browser and translate those actions into commands on the IBM RPA Studio. So as I mentioned before, we'll be focusing on the Windows recorder for now. We will leave the web recorder for another session as well. Up next, we have the snipping tool. It's a very useful tool that we can use to screen cap parts of the screen and use those screenshots as assets that we can use them in many ways. We will use the snipping tool in the next session where I go over how to deal with some different kinds of elements. And we'll go into even more detail on how to use it on our third session. You're going to see that it's a very useful tool. We can do some really cool stuff with it. Then we have the recording button that we can use to turn the recording on and off. So if you don't want our actions to be recorded anymore, we can just turn this off. And then we have this window button here. Now, from here on out, all the options in the recorder bar are actually dynamic. They vary quite a bit depending on the kind of element that you are trying to interact with. And this is what we're going to see now. So let's go back to that demo application and let's try interacting with some fields. So basically by using the recorder, when the recorder is turned on, the recorder bar is showing up there. We just need to place our mouse cursor over the element we want to interact with and then hold the Ctrl key for a few seconds. Once that element has been successfully mapped, we can see that it's highlighted. Here we are using the Windows driver, so the highlight is in green. Depending on the kind of driver you're using, this highlight color will change. So for example, the web recorder, the highlight is yellow. The Java driver, the recorder, highlights elements in red. So you can see what kind of driver you're using for the recorder depending on the color of the highlight. And as you can see as well, at the top of the screen, the options have changed a bit. Now we don't only have the window option, we have the verify actions and image grid options. As I mentioned, these options are all dynamic. They vary depending on the kind of element that you mapped. And these are the options that we can use to interact with the element that we mapped. So we mapped the user field. So in this case, for instance, we could go to the actions option, and from there we can use the set value option, and I'm going to leave it on auto suggest. And as you can see, the set value command has popped up here with all the necessary parameters to identify that specific element already filled up. And this is the cool thing about the recorder. All the necessary information for the bot to identify the element that it has to interact with are automatically filled up by the recorder. We don't really need to do anything here other than actually inputting the value that we actually want to input into this field. So I'm going to go ahead and type here Maidana for a username. That's my first name, initial, and my surname. So I'm going to use this as a username. And we can basically repeat the exact same procedure for all the other fields in this application here. So the basic gist of it, place the cursor over the field, map it, holding the Control key, then going to Action, Set Value, Auto Suggest, and putting a password here. I'm going to put some random password here. I can do the same for the first name field, map it with the Control key, Actions, Set Value, Auto Suggest, and I'm gonna put my first name here, Vinicius, and save this command. You can see that as I input these commands, as I map these fields and use the recorder, the commands are automatically inserted into the script. Now you're gonna see my new set value command here for the last name. So as you can see, as I use the recorder, the commands are automatically inserted into the script. Now let's try clicking. There is this little radio button here that we can choose a gender between female and male. I'm going to try clicking on female and then clicking back on male. It's the same procedure as always. We map the element we want to interact with the, by placing the cursor over the element and holding the Control key for a bit. And then, this time we're going to go to actions and we're going to choose click. And we're going to leave it on auto suggest. So you can see that it has been successfully clicked. You notice that as I use the recorder, all the actions that I'm performing with the recorder are already being performed. All the input fields that I interact with, the name, the username, those are already filled out as I was using the recorder. The same with this button here. Now I'm going to try to click back on male, and you see that it's going to click back on the male radio button. So as you can see, this is very simple, right? If you want to set a value, map an input field, use set value, choose the kind of identifier that the bot's going to use to identify that control. I'm always choosing auto suggest here so that the recorder decides for itself what's the best way to identify this element, and then just put the information I actually want to be used in the input field. The same thing for the click. The click is even easier because I don't really need to input any information. So all I need to do is just click the save button after mapping the element and using the click action. So this is the most basic way of using the recorder, mapping an element by putting the mouse cursor over the element, mapping it with the Control key, and then choosing the kind of action you want to perform, whether it's setting a value, getting a value, clicking on it. But there are more ways to use the recorder, and this is what we're going to see now. So I'm going to map any field. I'll map the user field here. And you can see to the top right, we have two more options, two more elements on the recorder bar. And one is the search bar, the command search bar. We can actually search for commands here manually, so we can input them into the script manually while using the recorder. And right next to the search bar, we have the control tree view. So if you press this button here, a window will show up where we can see the control tree, the tree of elements that belong to the application we are interacting with right now. So if I put these two windows here side by side, you can see here that I can actually highlight elements from the tree into the application so we can see which element is which. So if I right click here on this text box, which is text user, and choose highlight, you can see there, right there, it's highlighting on green what this element is in the application. And I can do this with pretty much any other element in the tree. So let's try the password. Actually, let's try the whole window. The window if I go to the very beginning of the tree and highlight it, you can see that I'm highlighting the entire window here. So that's the very root of the entire tree of elements. I can do that with any other element. So, highlight the no click button here. So you can see this button here is highlighted. And I can also use this contextual menu here to actually perform actions with the element that I'm looking at in the control trees. So if I right click this button here, the no clicked button, this no clicked button is switched between clicked and no clicked with every click we perform. So I'm going to right click this element in the tree of elements, and I'm going to go to actions and click auto suggest. And here we have the click command configuration window showing up just as it would if we went into the actions menu in the recorder bar and chose the click action. So this is another alternative of interacting with elements in an application. Instead of mapping elements one by one, we can just map one element, one random element in the entire application window, and come to this menu here where we have the tree view of all elements that are available in that application window. And we can navigate between these elements and interact with them using the tree view. We can always highlight elements on the tree view so we can see which element in the interface we're dealing with. And we can perform actions with these elements straight from the tree view. So we can just save here, and you can see that the button has been clicked. It's now showing up as clicked. No longer it's no clicked. As you can see, it switches between clicked and no clicked with every click I perform. And the click command is also there in the script as well. It has been inserted by the recorder. So now let's try running the bot and see if it performs every single action that we recorded so far and that we built the script with using the recorder, right? So before we do that, we need to map the window. We're going to go ahead and map the title bar of the window and use the launch and attach window command to launch the window. So the bot launches this window, this application window, as soon as the automation starts. This is another important concept. All applications need to be attached to the execution context of the bot. This execution context is what defines which application window the bot should be looking at during the execution, right? So we're going to use the launch and attach window command because this command not only launches this application window, but it also attaches this window to the execution context so the bot knows in which window it should be looking for these elements, all these elements that we mapped, right? As you can see, since we're using the recorder, the path to the executable file for this application has already been inserted in the executable parameter. In this case here, we don't really need to do anything else. We'll just go ahead and use save. And we're going to drag this command to the very beginning of the script so that the bot launches this application before trying to interact with any other elements in the window, because the window needs to be launched first, right? The application needs to be started first. So let's run the script and see the bot doing everything we told it to. So it's going to launch the window first. It's going to launch the application first, input the username, the password, the first and last name, click on female, then click back on male, input the birthday, and click on the no clicked button. As you can see, the bot performed every single action. It was also really quick, right? We could barely see it happening. It's really quick. The bot really can identify all the elements really quick. So this was the basic overview of the recorder. We've covered most of the basic features that the recorder has. On the next session, we'll try interacting with the other elements here in this application, like the list box, the combo boxes, choosing tabs, that kind of stuff. And we'll also see how we can use this snipping tool to perform clicks. So be sure to tune in next time as we continue exploring the recorder feature of IBM RPA.